Office vacancy rates currently are about 17.1%. I'd like to start with Jack. Where do you think they will peak? And I'd like to ask each one, where and when will they peak? Jack, you're up first.
Sure. Well, I put this slide together because it clearly shows the recovery, right? You can see that in 2010 there's going to be negative absorption yet again, but you can see we're in for another run, another 5 to 7 year run. I think to make it Milwaukee specific, vacancy here overall is 17%. It was flat quarter over quarter. It was 17% in the second quarter. It's 17% in the third quarter. We don't have a supply issue here. It's more of a demand issue here. So until job growth comes back, I think we're going to see, it relatively flat, and we need job growth to come back, which we probably think it's going to happen in 2011 before we see vacancy come down and positive absorption.
Bob, office?
Between 19 and 19.5% in the first half of 2011. But let me say that this idea about we don't have a construction problem, or because we didn't overbuild, a high vacancy rate is a high vacancy rate, whether we got there through overbuilding or under a lack of demand, and it's an equal problem.
Great, thanks, Bob. Ross.
I'm going to disagree with Bob. I think we may see a 1% increase, and that's it. And it's partly because we have almost nothing being built, but companies can't give back space forever. And just one other point very quickly is that just like the stock market is forward-looking, tenants are increasingly forward-looking. We're certainly seeing it in our New York office where you can get unbelievable deals on space. How long are those deals going to last? So I think you're going to see tenants jumping in and taking space they might not need today, but they will definitely need within 12 or 24 months.
Industrial vacancy rates are in Q3 about 10.3% from the information I've gotten. Again, the question is, where will they peak out and when?
Great. Again, you can clearly see the recovery here. We've got negative absorption in 10, but you see a recovery in another run here after that. To make it Milwaukee-centric, vacancy here is about 7%. You've got a stock of 300 million square feet here, of which a large percenter is owner-user. Again, it's not an oversupply problem. It's a demand problem, and until consumer spending and job growth comes back, I don't think you're going to see a tremendous amount of activity in 2010, and we're looking at 2011 before that picks up.
I would say nationally between 11 and 11.5% by the end of next year. And I agree, Milwaukee has a low vacancy rate. It's a balanced market, industrial market here.
The national industrial market is barely going to move higher, 10.5, definitely not 11%, mostly because construction really has gone to zero, but I'm incredibly optimistic on manufacturing and exports, and so I think you will see growth there. Not a lot of growth, but you will see growth next year.
The last one is the same question for retail. Where will it peak and when?
Sure. Same theme here. You can see, recovery really happening more starting in 11. But we've got the perfect storm in retail, right? We've got a demand problem, but we also have a supply problem. And a lot of that is from the retailers that have gone out of business, linen and things, Circuit Cities, et cetera. You've got the big boxes, the mid boxes that are vacant, significant downward pressure on economics. It's a very difficult time for everybody in the retail sector. Notwithstanding, the market's pretty efficient. You got a lot of the value retailers that are out there taking advantage of the marketplace right now. You've got TJ Maxx, CVS, Burlington, a lot of these value retailers that are taking advantage of corners now that they can be on that they couldn't afford maybe 2 years ago. So there is some demand on the value side. Also, the grocery sector, I think, is going to drive a lot of demand going forward. Pick and Save, that's got a 60% market share here in Milwaukee, is very active. So look for that to prop the retail market up here in Milwaukee. But again, overall, I think it's 11, 12, and 13 before we come back.
Great. Bob?
I would say retail will go up another percentage point and will peak out by the end of next year.
Okay, thanks. Ross?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Bob. I think retail is really going to struggle at least another point, and it's tough to see how things could turn around before 2011.
Maria?
Wow. The end of next year?
End of next year.
Okay. I think I tend to agree more with Jack. I think it's probably more 2013. I think it's going to go up at least 100 basis points. And the thing about retail is it's such a broad category. Depends on how you define it. But it'll go up at least by 100 basis points.
Great. Thanks, Maria.
The coming perfect storm in retail is, in fact, what's going to happen. I think from a national perspective, you're going to see a number of REITs under incredible pressure to keep projects on the books. And I think that the foreclosure rate in that category is going to go up dramatically. I think what you're going to see coming down the road in this coming year is that the hospitality sector, especially those hospitality properties financed with CMBS-backed financing, are just not going to get refinanced, and you're going to see a wave of foreclosures, first in the hotel sector, and then you're going to see it pick up, I think, in the retail sector.